Is this really happening?
Wait a minute.
Good morning, sunshines.
Hi. It's going in my headphones.
Love it. Is that good?
Well,
that's probably going to give us better sound.
yeah. Okay. Can we see what we look like? So we're right on the camera.
Yeah. Can you guys start your video?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, there you go.
Ask to start video. Can I ask you?
Yeah, start my video.
It's coming, it's thinking.
It's coming.
Oh, okay.
Here we are.
Oh, we are on the big camera. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Ladies,
okay.
those curtains, let me just tell you.
So we got to get it right because, hold on.
Wait a minute. Where's my chair? Why do I feel so low?
You're all
Y'all are so pretty. Oh my goodness.
You're crazy.
Oh, you know what?
No, you're not.
It's
Receive
not on
it.
it's not on that one. Wait. Yeah, no, it's on this one.
Oh, it's on that. Okay. All right.
Good morning.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
Joann and Kelly, I just cannot, from the bottom of my heart, tell you how humbled and grateful and just laid out I am.
Oh, you're silly.
I think you're our biggest fan.
I mean,
Seriously.
so I literally was the varsity cheerleading captain in my school,
Hello.
in high school. So anytime you need a cheerleader.
Okay, let me see.
That is hilarious.
So we are speaking through this.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
dying.
I can hear. Okay, can
I'm
you?
gonna-
Is the sound?
You know what? I'm going to get some books and raise this up. Oh, please.
Yeah, it's good. It's getting up the chin. That looks like my office. So I'm in my multi-purpose playroom area because we have a 100-year-old bungalow and my husband's in the office. And so we have the ugliest curtains out there. That's why I'm crunching on your ladies. I will buy all of the things. All of the things. I also have laryngitis, of course. The one day I need to
Of course.
I've got my Billie Holiday energy just grooving over here.
I love how pumped you are.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I'm a big fan. I have been for a long time. So I'm just really humbled and so excited to connect with you.
So your little global thing. So is it really just kicking off, but it's been in the works for a long time?
So God put it on my heart about 6.5 years ago when I was in business school, but I was in business school and then moved back to New York, married my husband. We got pregnant, moved to Singapore for a year. I wasn't you're not allowed to work in Singapore unless you have the visa. Make a long story short, I have a 4 and a 6-year-old little girls. So I've been hardcore momming it for the last 5 years. And so this thing that God put on my heart 6.5 years ago, I just haven't been able to kick it off. And finally, about 9 months ago, I just was like, God, what would you have me do? And he just kept putting it. Lipstick Network, I already gave it to you. But that fear of, here are my guts. I was raised by a single mom who worked 4 jobs so that I could go to college. And so just the fear of, what if no one comes? What if no one gets it? And I literally 2 weeks ago was in my devotional and it was about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane and how he was afraid, and that fear is not a sin as long as you're obedient. And I have to tell you guys, do it scared, like Jesus walked, what you guys did. I can't remember the guest that you had, but y'all have been touting that do it.
Yeah, Julianne Taylor.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, bless Julianne, because I was like, yes. And so I emailed y'all scared because I'm like, they're too big of a darn deal.
Oh, stop.
But I mean that, please receive, because you've been busting your humps, right?
Oh.
But so thank you I launched the Lipstick Network formally in December. I had 48 women from across the world come to Tampa or Zoom in virtually. And we talked about lots of different things. And then the next event is on March 3rd, and it's about money. And so one of the things I really want to talk to you guys about, and maybe, we're going to start this, but I definitely want to hear the story really quick. And I want to be mindful of your calendar because you're going to Morocco and Lisbon. It's gonna be good. I'm praying make ultra on the travels.
She knows
she
us.
does. Yeah, that's hilarious. I know it's. I pray for that too because I don't want to see saucy face. Yeah,
a little sassy like sour face. So, anyway, so that's all of that. So Joann and Kelly of Kandrac and Kole, thank you so much for being here today and taking time out of your very busy schedule to connect with the Lipstick Network ladies. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so if you could, so I'm a big fan, listen to your podcast and I'll subscribe to your YouTube. Like won a contest with Jill Seal's marbleized printed silk scarf. I should have worn that. Oh, I should maybe go, I'll get it later. But tell me about you guys, how you met, and how you all fell in love with each other, because you guys complement each other really well. And the Lipstick Network is all about women coming together to fill in each other's gaps, because I just think that we need each other. There's enough work to do to make the world a better place. And you guys seem to really fill in each other's gaps well. So if you would just share a little bit about who you are and how you met and tell us y'all's love story.
Wow. Are we
That's
recording?
a lot.
I know we are recording. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we've been in business 17 years. We met when we worked at a retail store in Atlanta. I was doing the buying. Kelly was working in the fabric department. We had worked together for about 2 or 3 years, really liked each other. And then one day, a designer who was doing a show house in the Atlanta area came to the owner of our retail store and said, I would really love for you guys to be a part of this show house. And he's like, nah, we don't do, stuff like that. So Kelly happened to be standing at the register right there. She's like, oh, Myron, we can do it. Joann and I'll do it.
I didn't even ask
She didn't
her.
even ask me. And so he's like, really? She's, yeah, it'll be great promotion for the store and whatever else. So she talked him into it. And so we ended up doing it. It was a beautiful home. We ended up doing the guest master suite in the bathroom. We had so much fun working together. We had so many of the same qualities. We both work really hard, and we just felt like there was a connection there, and that she was ready to do something. I had worked at the store then for like 13 years. So we just said, let's go into business. And then literally, really, we got our business license. We opened up an account, and we have been steady Eddie for 17 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Kelly was like the pusher. She's like, I can do it. Like,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'm always the pusher. Actually,
Me too.
Joann's very brave, and whenever now, when I'm like, I don't know, she's like, really? I'm like, okay, all right, we're better together.
Yeah. We just, when one
We
is
always say
weak,
yes.
the other one's strong. It just,
Yeah.
it somehow just happens. And when in regard to like our business, people ask us all the time, so how do you do it? Do you split up? Like, is it 50-50? How do you work it? Financially, it's 50-50. And actually, I have to say, with projects and the podcast and social media, it's all 50-50. But we've never like laid it out. We've never like said, you do this, I'll do this. It just naturally happens, which is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
We also respect each other's time. If I feel like I'm slacking, I'm like, oh God, I feel accountable to her, and she feels accountable to me. That's just our personalities.
Yeah.
So I could not have a slacker as a business partner.
Yep.
And so we just got really lucky.
Well, I love that so much. And that was one of the questions that I wanted you all to ask, was because you are going to be a part of like the negotiations process of the professional development part of our Lipstick Network Summit. And so to really hear, it sounds like respect, communication. How do you guys negotiate when you don't agree on something, whether it's a client, whether it's a fabric, whether it's that? Can you talk to me a little bit how you negotiate as collaborators? I'm very curious, because I think that women really struggle with having those tough conversations. We just do. So come on, wisdom, please.
Should we be embarrassing and say flip a coin?
You're not going to like this answer, but we really don't have to negotiate much with each other.
But if we do, one kind of gives to the other. Yeah.
We just kind of decide if it's worth the fight. And praise the Lord, we have the same design aesthetic and the same business mind. And if in the very beginning, Joann needed time to digest things, and I knew that if I planted the seed and kind of came on strong and then walked away, like she would come around.
What are we talking about right now?
I have to think of an example, but you were slow to digest in the beginning. Like
To digest what?
like a new idea or something scary.
Oh yeah,
You
because
know.
Kelly will she's
Yeah,
the
I'm a bull in
one.
a china shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're standing at the edge of the pool, and it's like, okay, let's get in. She's in, and
Yeah.
I'm going. What's the temperature?
Right?
What
Yeah,
I'm like-
what's the depth? Like I have to think things through where she jumps in more.
Yes.
And actually, in some instances, we're better to jump in, and in some instances, it's better to look back.
It's true.
So this is why you got the
Yeah,
yin and yang.
but my point is that over time, I feel like she's gotten just a lot braver, and now she makes me brave, and she makes decisions faster. I never really told you that, but it's true.
this is news to me. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Receive that, Joanne. Receive
Yeah.
that. Get
Yeah.
it.
Still learning.
But
still
thankfully,
learning.
honestly, we don't really. I guess that's where the respect comes in. If she's going in a certain direction with a client, I really won't get in her way unless, and likewise she for me, unless something looks wrong scale wise.
She catches. It's really good because she's caught. She's caught something. She's like, well, what about that? Thermometer that's there. And I was like, shoot, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But the
or
other
that door is
yeah.
going to catch on that rug if you don't shorten it up a
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
So those are really the only kind of things
Yeah. And inherently, I think as people, we have different strengths. Like Kelly can write unbelievably. Like her way with words, I'll be struggling. I'm on thesaurus. I'm like, I'm just gonna send this to Kelly. I'm like, put your magic on this because I can't come up with the words. I'm wasting too much time. And then in 2 seconds, she sends me this back and it's beautifully written. So she's really, really good with that. Thank goodness that we each have something.
Yeah. But then Joanne's much better with the hunt. She's much better with drilling down details of your research and sourcing. And I'm like, my ADD is kicking in. I just don't, and she's figured it all out. And I'm like, thank God.
Thank God I don't have to do that and struggle.
Yeah.
Well, it seems really cool because there's this macro and micro, and over the years, you've really learned how to, Kelly, you picked up some of that micro detail stuff. And then, now Joanne's like, okay, deep in, as long as it's 6 feet deep is fine. Right. That kind of, right. But but again, filling in each other's gaps. I think too often we see the group think is tempting, because if you get someone who thinks like you, who works like you feel safe, but it doesn't make you better. And it really does seem you guys, 17 years, I can't say anything that you haven't already proven, but filling in those gaps and taking the best from each other, that's so cool. I'm just
we hear about just women, helping each other and being there. We're so much better together than we are. So we can't be each other's enemy. No one's trying to one up the other. And we kind of feel that way with everybody in our design community. We're all better together if we share and, help each other. There's no competition here.
I love that so much. Kelly, did you want to add anything? Excuse me.
No, I was just saying absolutely. And we have our partnership, and that's a unique situation. And if you're out there as a sole proprietor and you're like, well, I don't have that like that, but that's why they have you and your network and other women driven communities that we've leaned on so much throughout the years.
Yeah.
And I think that's where grace comes from. And we talk a lot about grace on our podcast.
Yeah.
When there's just days when you need grace for yourself, or for, I'll say to her, I just have a big fat headache today, and I just can't. And it doesn't happen often, but when it does, she's like, I got you. Don't worry. Go home. It's fine. So you need that, this vacation we're going to take. We were just like, you know what? Screw this. We work our butts off. We're freaking going. And if our clients can't just hold on for 10 freaking days, then we have a problem. So we're out.
Yeah.
We're out. And we've told all of our clients March 1st through 10th, don't call. Love you. Don't call.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to do that. But,
but
once I'm on the
doing
plane, I'll be fine.
Yeah. Right now we're working our freaking butts off to get ready to go. And then when we get back, we'll die. But for 10 days, we'll be good.
Yeah. It's gonna be so good. Yeah. I love that. And I'm so proud that you guys are doing that for each other, setting up those boundaries and those communications and all of that. Okay. I do want to jump into, we'll talk a little bit about that negotiations. I sent you 2 questions from 2 of our ladies, and I really do just want to underline that notion of, we don't need to compete, we can collaborate. For me, I have seen that in my own corporate career in New York, there was always that one seat for the woman. It's even worse for women of color. And so there became this dialogue or this culture really of, oh, I got to be better than her versus, hey, this is what I'm gifted in. This is what I bring to the table. And if I work with her and him, right, if we all work together, it just is better. So I love that posture that you have. I think that is why people see you all as mentors, why your business has thrived and you've been able to really find a balance with your family. And that is that's legacy work. That's not just interior design work. That's legacy work because you've set an example and broken the mold for other people. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Receive that. Okay. So the question from Sarah,
Yes,
sent it to you guys, was Sarah asked, how do they pace their projects in a way that is healthy and feasible? I took on 6 multi-room projects last year, 25 individual spaces, and was turning away new clients to accommodate the add-ons from existing clients. Now I'm wrapping up those clients and I have no one knocking on my door. So how do I keep my momentum going without getting overwhelmed or turning away clients?
My first question for her would be, if she's taking on a client that big, what does her team look like? If she's by herself, she needs to hire somebody, because our mantra is we don't do anything that doesn't make money. So our administrative, our bookkeeping, anything tax related, placing orders, expediting orders, following up with manufacturers, that's not making us money. We don't do it.
Ooh.
So if you think about it, what are you going to pay somebody? $20 an hour? It's no skin off your nose. Hire the people, right?
Yeah.
And that's been our lifesaver.
Yeah. And it just depends too. It's all a timing thing too. Like we will only take on projects that, we usually say yes to almost everything, but it just depends. We could have 13 projects going at one time, but they're all in different phases. So I'm trying to understand, did she take those 6 projects on all at one time or did she phase it out? So you have to, and then the add-ons for the clients, I'm not quite sure what that is, but we do a flat fee and it's a specific scope of work. And so if then they're adding, then that becomes a whole nother thing. So your phone should still be ringing during that time. So if you're just doing your work and you're not still out there marketing or being out on social media, then that's why people are not calling.
And I do think that, we do put people on hold. We've got clients right now that we said, you know what? We can't give you our full attention right now. We want to give you 110%. So if you could possibly wait 6 weeks or 8 weeks, we'd be more than happy to, come over and do a consultation and start your project. And every single time they wait. Yeah. So if anything, it's like that, oh, I can't get her, but I'm in line, kind of thing.
Yeah.
People love a wait list, right?
Yeah.
Makes it more exclusive. Actually, let me ask. So she's actually a personal friend of mine. So I know a little bit about her journey. And I think there's a culture of, if I tell them no, then they'll go find somebody else. But in your experience in counsel, what is that sweet spot? If I tell my clients I can't get to them for 6 months, then it's too far. Is it, you mentioned 6 to 8 weeks? Because to me, I'm a strategist. So I grow companies, right? So my mind is, okay, I need to set up, if I've got 52 weeks in the year or 50, because I want to take off, go on holiday, right? Then I need to be strategic about how I plan my calendar. What have you guys, the nuance of timing and wait listing, have you guys been able to observe?
6 months would be way far out. People will definitely move on.
Definitely.
6 to 8 weeks.
I think that's
depending
totally
on their
manageable.
situation.
Time flies.
If they're moving into a new home and they need furniture, that's a different story. But most of the time, people are okay to wait.
And I think it starts with building a rapport in the very beginning. We spend a lot of time on that qualifying phone call. Actually, Lisa in our office does all the qualifying, because that's another time suck. And we've delegated that. She does a great job. And so she spends a solid 20 minutes to an hour with a client, just talking through now they're so invested. They like her so much and they've stalked us to death that they want to wait. So if that investment is done on the front end to learn all about the project, you take lots of notes, you follow up with an email, maybe you give a few helpful hints on the phone, like, well, maybe you think about this and think about this. They're like, oh yeah.
You kind of have them.
Yeah.
then
You've kind of
you're not
hooked
just
'em.
going, oh, I'm sorry, I can't get to you for 6 to 8 weeks. You've already kind of started the relationship so that they want to
Yeah.
wait.
And then the other thing, like Joann said, I would say we have, like she said, anywhere from 15 to 20 projects going at one time, but they're always in different phases. So really it's just the design work part. I mean, if you have
Help.
subcontracted out or delegated your admin, because that's a
It's a
just
whole
a
nother.
life sucker. But if you're only talking about the design, then we've met with the client, we do the proposal, and it's really just the design that's the time suck. So really, that's not going to take me,
Yeah.
6 months. And so really, I just need to free myself think about the time that you have to really free yourself. And then, you can
Carve that
slip in a consultation. And a lot of times we'll have the consultation, we'll give them the proposal. So now they're hooked even more. And then you say, now just you've got 3 people ahead of you, and then we'll kick in and we're so excited, and then they're like, ooh, just 3 people ahead of me, so it's sales, right?
It's sales. It's Disney, right? You're in the
Yeah.
queue. You're in the line. 3
Yeah.
people ahead of me for Space Mountain, right? I'll wait an hour and a half.
Yeah.
12 hours, whatever it is. Okay. So talk to me a little bit of, if you don't mind fleshing out maybe those time sucks. So you have Lisa who does, and you subcontract. These aren't full-time employees. You just do hourly for these individuals?
No,
Or-
they're employees. They happen to be actually friends of ours, believe it or not, because we've tried having some young interns. It just doesn't work. So they love it because they have flexible schedule. They work 3 days a week.
Cool.
And so what they are, right, they're doing all of the admin. They're helping with installs. They're picking up the mail. They're dropping things off. They're doing a lot of running around, and then they're also the expediters. So they're checking to see, okay, so Mrs. Jones, the table that she wanted, she didn't pay us, for 3 weeks. The orders didn't get placed, so now it's out of stock. So she'll let us know, and then she'll contact the client and say, that's gone. Joann and Kelly have reselected this. Is this okay? So she's doing a lot of talking to the clients too. And they love that because these projects that go out, for weeks, she's checking in with them and saying, yep, your orders are coming in. So we're always in contact with them. So even though things are taking longer, our people are, kind of keeping in touch with them and letting them know what's happening so they don't feel ignored. What else?
They
do
are
do?
hourly
Yeah.
though. They're paid hourly. They're part-time, but they are employees because we cover them for workman's comp, because they are on installs with us. They're in their cars running errands for us. So they have to be covered by our workman's comp if anything were to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's
so
then
they
we
are.
ha-
They
and
are
then we have a
considered employees.
bookkeeper who is, we would never be able to do all this. We're on studio designer, and she does all the bookkeeping. She does it just for that. That's an industry specific software. So she does that for a lot of other designers. So she takes care of all that.
That's actually good, because I've been encouraging my friend. She has an account, and I said, "Do you need a bookkeeper? Because you need to know like all the things." So I will send that to her. Awkward question: have you guys ever had to let a client go? And
Oh, girl.
She said it so nicely. We fire them.
okay, talk to me about that. Again, younger, I'm 38, so women in their early 40s, right? So women being like, I don't hurt your feelings, and thank you for giving me money, but like, you suck, so you got to go. So tell us about tell us.
We fired 3 or 4? Not many in the whole time.
Okay.
I'd say maybe 5 or 6 in 17 years, but it's in our, first and foremost, it's in our contract. And if you don't have a contract for whatever business you're in, you need to have one.
Yes, ma'am.
So the final pledge of our contract states that we are in a business, and there's lots of personalities and relationships going on. And if we find that it doesn't work for either them or us, then either party can give notice to the other. And so the few times that we've done it, the writing was on the wall, and it just was who was going to be brave enough to step up to the plate and go, you know what? It's not, we're not good for each other. And this is interior design. This is supposed to be fun,
happy,
and
I mean,
and
look
a
at
great
those curtains, guys,
Yeah.
the curtains.
right. And it's really been a stressful situation. And so we're going to finish up this last blah, blah, blah. You don't owe us any more money. You got to kind of make it clean money wise.
Okay, that's what
And
I was
then-
gonna ask you. How do you
Yeah.
get paid if you've got some outstanding invoices? I mean, have you ever had to take it to arbitration or mediation?
Well, the great thing is, and I would suggest this to anybody,
Mhm.
is we collect 100% up front.
Okay.
There
Because-
is no going
Love
back and waiting for money. No. And you know what? We
Our
really,
accounts receivable is this.
yeah. So, we just tell people we're going to place the orders as soon as we get your money. We are not a bank, and who wants to go back? It ruins the relationship. You don't want to keep pecking for money. Give it all up front. And the only thing they really pay for, and we explain this very thoroughly, is they pay for the delivery,
At
for
the end,
for the movers and the installer and us for our time. And they know that, but that's out there.
Our time for
So-
the install.
So get all the money when they're excited and happy.
And hope that they're, really happy at the end, which they
Yeah,
usually are.
yeah.
But yeah, nobody wants to be pecked for money. Nobody wants to like get a big, here's your shipping invoice, 5 months later. And you're like,
We just build it
I
in.
just gave my kid braces. Like, what? I don't have this.
Yeah, just build it in.
It's true. I think the assumption that even if people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on an interior design, that they have unlimited resources, and that's just
don't.
not true. Like, who does?
And I will tell you, the people that have more money are the ones that are tougher to let it go.
Well, that's why they have all the money, because they don't let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. All right, let me move on because I want to be mindful of y'all's time. Jen asked, what do I charge for my services? Most of my jobs are different from each other, and that it's hard to create a fee schedule or job cost. After many years, I've created a flat design fee for each room and upcharge on wholesale purchases. Hourly packages seem to be a revolving door, and it's hard to get paid, to your point. It's also hard to charge a friend when they ask for help and you really enjoy doing the work. Okay, let's talk
Boy.
about that.
All right. Well,
Okay.
let's break that down.
Okay. First off, we do very much that same type of formula.
Yep.
We do a flat fee
By space.
by space, and we upcharge, and we're very transparent about what we upcharge because we are able, and we tell all of this to the client in our first meeting, that we are stocking dealer for many of our manufacturers. So we use this as an example. If we're buying, if a sofa we're buying at wholesale for $1,000, you would see that markup is generally 2.5 to 3 times. So if they were to go into a nicer store, they would buy that sofa for $2,800 or $3,000. We're marking it up 40%. So they're paying $1,400. So they're already like excited. We're passing along, a discount. So they're already getting half off of retail.
Wow.
So, we don't have to nickel and dime them in any other way. We're just giving them the design fee, and we come up with it, believe it or not, just based on the amount of time. And we try to tell people we don't charge hourly because hourly is for laborers. You're charging us for our experience, our vision, our talent.
Expertise, our value.
Yeah.
Gifting, you're gifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that when you establish with a client your worth on the front end by charging a flat fee that's, quite high, don't be charging, $200 or $300. Like we're talking thousands of dollars, then the respect level just goes up several notches, and you're just established yourself
Yes.
as a businesswoman, as a person who has worth and value,
Mm.
and you're charging that up front. We don't lift a finger until that design fee is paid up front, and nobody questions that. People say, well, how in the world would you? I mean, we just had a client pay us $100,000 and she hasn't received a single stick of furniture in her house yet, but we return all of her emails immediately. We call her. We're there for her. We have shown her designs and renderings, and
Yeah.
she knows we're
You're worth it.
We're,
Like,
we're
you're
in it to
worth
win
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're-
don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times interior designers feel there's a lack of confidence.
Yes.
And I think you've got to get that confidence right first, because if you're seeming wishy-washy, people pick up on that. So
Mm.
if you just kind of say your design fee is $5,000 and you say it just like,
No big deal.
and you don't
Just
go,
fake it, baby. Fake
well,
it till you make it.
I think,
Well, more like claim it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I actually really love that you're bringing this up, because I'm actually teaching for the personal growth piece of March 3rd. What is my worth? because I have a lot of women who are entrepreneurs, stay-at-home moms. They're taking a leave of absence because they've got breast cancer or their parents are aging. And then I have women who are getting raises and promotions. And I think fundamentally, we devalue ourselves. So if you could I really love that this kind of organically came out. I prayed over this conversation. I was like, God, whatever you want to talk about, talk to me a little bit about how you claim, not fake it, but like claim your worth and your value in your business with your clients.
Because we're working hard. We are giving 100%. We're not slacking. So when I present something to you, I know that I've given it my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
And so how can you not feel confident about that? When I get to the point where I'm not giving it my all, I shouldn't be doing this. So when we're presenting something and I know that I've looked at 10 sofas before I came to that one, I'm worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
I got you the best I could do.
Right.
So,
and I do think that if anybody just stops for a minute and thinks about customer service or their relationships in the day, you go to the grocery store, then you go to the car wash, then you go to the pediatrician's office. Think about all the people that you came into contact with, right? And the crappy just service and attitudes that are out there in the world, right?
Yeah.
So here we march in, smiling, straight back, here to help you, returning your phone call, showed up on time, respond to your emails in, 24 hours would be really far for us. So, in the same day, and answering all your questions with patience and kindness, and all of a sudden that is our worth. I mean, beyond the expertise of our, that we're great interior designers, but let's just start with the fundamentals first. And that in and of itself, even if you're brand new at whatever business you're doing, should make you stand up straight and feel good about your value and what you're going to give that client, because you're going to work hard for them. So you're already ahead of half the world out there right now that can't even do that.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. I love that. I have one more question for you, and then it has to go to negotiating pricing for your clients, your subcontractors, and those collaborative partnerships, like diversifying just your portfolio of not just your design services, but how do we, again, grow strategists. So as you're reaching out, how are you negotiating your value, your worth, your pricing with the people that you work with and for, and then reaching out and collaborating with other brands or designers or whatever. Talk to me a little bit about that math and that strategic decision making.
I'm not sure if this is the right answer, and this is your question, but generally, if we've given a design fee and given a proposal to a client, and let's say it's $12,000, and they come back and say, well, you know what? We were hoping to get it down just a little bit. Well, the way to get it down is to lower the scope. It's not going to be because we're just going to give you a deal. The way to save money is to do less.
Okay.
So never negotiate your fees.
Never.
Because
once
will,
they're said out loud or put in writing.
Yeah.
Never.
You'll be negotiating with everything with that client through the whole project.
Yeah.
And when you stand firm, I think they respect you a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I would also add that if you're starting out, one way that we have really capitalized or really kind of grown our businesses, it started with the first recession in 2008, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was scared. Everybody kind of like came in, and not us. We were like, what landlord out there is desperate? We're going to move out of our homes. We're going to get an office, right? And we found the coolest old little office above a store on this cute little street, and our rent was like dumb. I mean, because the landlord was so desperate. Okay. Then fast forward, during that same kind of recession, we used to never be able to just walk into a showroom in High Point. They stuck their noses up in the air. And we're like, oh, well, who are you?
You're not a store.
And you're not a store, whatever. And so recession came, and we're like, yeah, you're all hurting. Don't say you're not. So we just marched in there like, hi, we have an appointment. And they're like, with who? And again, we're making this shit up, right?
Yeah.
And so we get in there and we do our thing, smile, be nice, talk about our clients. And they're like, oh, so we started opening up accounts that we would have never been able to open before.
Well, you know what? This is the thing I think that's important. It used to be, and designers out there will know this. Let's just say, for example, you're talking about Bernhard Furniture. It used to be that they wanted an opening order of 35,000. Well, you know what? A designer can't do that. I mean, if you're a store, you can fill up your store. So we basically just didn't take no for an answer. We just said, well, you know what? We can't do that in one order, but you know what? Give us time, over a year's time, we can probably do that. So give us 6 months and let's see if we get to 20,000. And then you can decide
to the curb if we don't.
If we don't, you just drop our account. But if we do, and we've done it every single time, we've negotiated that because we just didn't take that for an answer. And I don't think many people want to do that. But you know what? Your rep can make decisions about what pricing you get and whatever. So if you don't ask, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And so you have to fight for yourself and say, you know what? We'll be able to get that, not in the first order. And they should understand that. And we've been able to get stocking dealer. And once again, that makes it easier to sell to our clients. And that's how we're making more money, because we're buying, for example, a designer pricing on a piece might be $1,400, and then the stocking dealer price is $1,000. That's a lot of money out there.
Over and over and over and over.
And then if somebody goes, well, most people don't shop us, but if somebody were to look online, it's like, oh my God, we're getting such a great deal from them.
Yeah.
So,
but that took time, and it was one account at a time, and then the more we got, the more we could say to a rep, well, we've got stocking dealer with XYZ, so we really need stocking dealer from you. And they would be like, okay, well, I guess you guys are legit, but it took time.
Sure.
But my point is, when it comes to negotiating and, just taking advantage of times and what's out there in the environment and in your town, and just jumping on, and don't be scared, like Julianne
do it
says,
scared.
do it scared.
Do it scared.
And
what's
you'll
the
be
worst
one
thing?
of the few, because everybody else is, hiding.
We were doing the High Point Insiders tour with a group of like 16 designers that had never been there. And we explained this, how going to the rep and asking, and they all kind of looked at us like, duh, like we never thought we could do that.
Yeah.
Have the confidence to do it.
It's your business. You got to
I
make it
feel
right.
like the through line of this is giving us permission to ask for what we want and deserve.
What's the worst thing? They can say no.
That's it.
And what is that going to do? We just come back and ask a different day, or
Yeah, I always say,
day.
am I going to die? I'm not going to die. Oh, okay. I'll do it then. Right?
I love
I'm not
that.
going to die. So just like,
Yeah.
How bad could it be?
I love it. Any last piece of advice in the interior design space for our Lipstick Network ladies and general, but for your space, anything, any closing thoughts, Kandrac, Nicole?
Well, if you want to keep learning, listen to our podcast. We didn't mean to mess up our hair and have our headphones on for this call, but the sound is better that way.
So pretty.
So
be confident, work hard, be
kind.
nice, do what you say you're going to do, and communicate. Respond quickly. It's amazing. Just those small things. We will get
usually I know your word.
Yeah.
What?
We'll get an
Use your
email
words.
from
Okay.
somebody that's new.
Email.
We'll respond very quickly, and they'll be like, oh, thank you for responding so quickly, because they've already talked to us. Now they're going to just forget the next 3 or 4 people that they were going to call. So be quick to respond.
Quick to respond. Yeah.
That's an easy one.
That's an easy one. Kandrac and Kole, thank you so much for
Thank
your time.
you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Kelly,
having
I'm-
us.
I'm so humbled. Before we go, I just want to make like a little social media thing that we can do together. Let's see if this will work if I do a selfie. I'm really good at connection technology.
It's okay.
It's okay. I don't
There
even
we
know how to work. All right, let's do. All right, the Lipstick Network here with Kandrac and Kole. We just got done discussing negotiations with these amazing women. So thank you so much. This looks terrible. Let's do it like this. My bad. All right, let's do it like this. All right, we're here with Kandrac and Kole, just wrapping up a negotiations panel about being in the interior design space. Joann, Kelly, thank you so much for being receptive to just a little woman trying to make a big difference in the world. And thank you for your expertise, for your counsel and your wisdom. I'm truly humbled. I hope that Morocco's amazing. Lisbon's incredible. Anything that you want to share with social media for Kandrac and Kole and the Lipstick Network, what's coming up? Obviously, subscribe to your YouTube channel. You have made the transition from from your podcast,
Yes.
YouTube. What else is going on where we can support you?
Well,
Yeah.
we're Inside Design at Kandrac and Kole in the podcast, and we are also insider tour guides for High Point Spring Market. So we have a few spots left. I think we have maybe like 6.
Yeah. If you've never been to market or haven't been to market in a year, I highly suggest it because it's really
free
overwhelming and it's free.
with us.
I love it.
Highpointmarket.org.
Okay, and we will add that clip into the social media post to get in touch with you guys. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Blessings. I'm so
You're the
hungry.
best.
Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you for cheerleading.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, anytime. Charity the cheerleader. I got you.
Okay.
Have a
Thanks.
good time. Ciao.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.